Bom dia, Portugal! Lisbon is one of the most beautiful and friendly cities in the world. Best of all, things here are normally cheaper compared to most capitals in Western Europe, and a lot of the most famous attractions are within walking distance. As an example, right there is the Edward VII Park. This is a statue here in honor of Marquês de Pombal. He was a very important figure in the history of Lisbon. I'm going to talk more about him later, but you're going to see how much I'm going to walk today. There are lots of videos online showing what to do and see here, and with this series my goal is to also make you understand Lisbon, the different areas, how to get around. If you have a good understanding of the city, what's close to what, you'll easily be able to plan your trip here. Let me introduce myself if you're new here in this channel. I'm Renata, I'm a journalist, and this is what I do. I share as much information as I can about the places I visit so that it becomes very easy for you to plan a trip to the same destination. And I travel with my husband, Gordon. Say hello. He also helps me shoot these videos with this camera here. He doesn't say a lot on camera, he's very shy. But he's a fun character. Sometimes, right?
Marquês de Pombal.
Yeah. Look at him practicing his Portuguese. How's your Portuguese today?
Muito mal.
Muito mal. First thing you need to know, Lisbon is a city full of hills. There are lots of ups and downs here, so your best option is to get transport into the upper parts and then you just walk downhill. I'll start this series showing you Bairro Alto and Chiado, but before getting there, let me talk about this part where I am right now. This is Avenida da Liberdade. It's my favorite place to stay because it's almost flat, almost there's a slight slope here, and then you have hills on both sides, slightly ahead. There are lots of hotels here, expensive and inexpensive in the area in general. Lots of shops, also very expensive and some inexpensive. And the metro is right here, really easy for transportation, especially when you land at the airport. You know, you can get the metro with €1.50, one connection, and you're here. Look at them. Easy to get the subway and go to the airport. There's another flat area in the city, very, very beautiful. It's called Baixa. Lots of things to do and see, but it is very touristy and it is harder to find hotels at good prices there. If money is not an issue, then go for it. From here is an easy walk until Baixa. You just keep going that way. You can also get the metro, 2 or 3 stops ahead, depending on where you are. And just out of curiosity, Bairro Alto means upper town, while Baixa means lower town. Perfect descriptive names. Look at Gordon here, just waiting for me. What a good life you have, huh? Oh, come on. Huh? What a good life you have. Just enjoying Lisbon.
Eu trabalho muito rápido. Not so much.
That's kind of true. Second thing you need to know about Lisbon, there are 2 main tourist areas here in the city. There's the city center and surroundings where you find Bairro Alto, Baixa, Chiado, Alfama, all these famous neighborhoods. They're all within walking distance. And there's also Belém, a little further down the coast, and I'll save that for a future video. Now let's make our way to the upper town in Chiado. And there are various ways you can get up there. You can walk, you can get a tram, get an elevator, the metro. The best way depends on where you are, but also some are way cheaper and faster than others. Which one do you think is the fastest? The elevator? That's the worst. I'll explain why later on in this video, so keep watching. Let me show you my favorite way to get there. Here you can choose in English. See, you can put that in English, the screen, and it's very easy to buy the ticket. The cheapest way for you to walk around is to choose a rechargeable card. You have to buy it, 50 cents, but it is worth it because then you add credits. It's called zapping, and the prices are cheaper as compared to single rides. best way to get around here in Lisbon is to buy this card. It's called Viva Viagem, costs 50 cents, and then you can reload with credits. Or you can pay $6.40 and get unlimited rides in the metro, buses, trams, elevators for 24 hours here. If you add credits instead of paying for unlimited rides, bear in mind that trams and elevators are more expensive than the metro and buses. Just from here to here. By far the best way to go uphill. Welcome to Chiado. Here you arrive already at Largo do Chiado. There's a very famous coffee shop there called A Brasileira, the Brazilian. I swear to you, it is important historically here, not only because I'm Brazilian. This coffee shop was opened in 1905 because they wanted exactly to import coffee from Brazil, which was rare at the time. And then over time it became a meeting point for intellectuals, artists in general. There's even a statue here of Fernando Pessoa, one of the most famous writers in Portugal. Rumor has it that this was not even his favorite coffee shop, but got famous anyways. You want to have a coffee with Fernando Pessoa? There's even a book here. Not sure if it belongs here or someone left it. Obrigada. That's a little tiny for your American taste. You sure that's enough coffee for you? I think you need at least 10 times this amount.
It's strong.
Is it strong?
Yeah.
First, pastel de nata here in Lisboa. And we're gonna try various others in this trip. It is very, very good. If you've never had this Portuguese custard tart, you gotta try it. It is so good. It's so crunchy, so good. Chiado is also a very famous shopping destination. You'll find a lot of nice shops here. And also here, this area is where you find the famous Tram 28. This tram is almost an attraction on its own here because you can get it to see some of the most famous attractions in Lisbon. Here's the stop. All these people here are probably exactly waiting for it. But you want to know the truth? Avoid it. This is more pain and suffering than anything, honestly. It is so touristy today, so full of tourists all the time. You can rarely find a place to sit down. And also, tram is not like the metro. You know, it stops with traffic. So if there are people crossing in front of it, it stops. If there are cars poorly parked, it cannot move. So sometimes it is faster for you to walk as compared to getting this tram. Plus, it's not very safe anymore because as there are too many people, a lot of pickpocketing going on there. A lot of Portuguese people always tell me to beware in public transportation here. 2 minutes of walking and here we are at Largo do Carmo. Look at what a beautiful place. And it gets better. Right here in the center there's this fountain that at some point was the main source of water for the entire district. Today not as much a fountain here. Largo do Carmo is very well known for two main reasons that in one way or another totally changed the history of Portugal. You may not know this, but Portugal was a dictatorship, a fascist dictatorship that lasted for 48 years, one of the longest in the world, if not the longest. And it all came to an end right here in that building. That is the National Guard Museum. And this is where the dictator at the time surrendered himself. This was the Carnation Revolution. Why carnation? Because this was a revolution of flowers and not bullets. Long story short, the soldiers had carnations in their weapons and in their uniforms. And another thing that makes this location here very unique is this church. Actually, the ruins of Carmo Church. You see it? There's no ceiling over there. This is the living representation of a devastating earthquake that happened here in Lisbon in 1755. It destroyed the city. And they left the church like this, exactly as a reminder of that. I'm going to talk more about how this earthquake changed Portugal in the next video, but here you can already have a glimpse. Oh, boa tarde, dois, por favor.
8 euros.
It is very, very impressive to walk here and see no ceiling. Wow. This church was built in 1389, and for centuries it was considered a really beautiful example of Gothic architecture until 1755. There was the earthquake, the roof fell down, and a lot of people died here. Today, this is an archaeology museum.
The body escaped from this one.
Yeah, there's an opening there, that's true.
And I'll stick my hand in.
No, don't. No, don't. There are various pieces here from right before the earthquake. Like here on the walls, this is from 1663, and over here this sculpture. This is really from right before the earthquake. What year does it say that? That is 1743, 12 years before. In that part behind the altar, where the altar was, there's a museum today with some very interesting pieces there, lots of tombs. You just cannot film there, only photograph with no flash. Right next to the church, a very well-known landmark here in Lisbon. From here you can already see it, at least the top, the viewpoint. It's right there. The elevator, Elevador de Santa Justa. This is how most tourists get up here to the upper part of the city. And remember I said in the beginning that in my opinion is the worst way you can choose? Let me show you why.
When the storm is raging in your head.
A lot of people choose the elevator because of the view. But let me tell you what, there's no view inside the elevator. All the view is here. And when you come from this upper part, you get all this for free. Also, there's a viewpoint up there. You pay €1.50. And if you're coming to the elevator, you also got to pay €1.50 to have that view. So you end up paying €5.30, which is the cost of a round trip in this elevator for a 20-second ride. And you wait for more than an hour in line. Seriously, a lot of tourists here. Amazing view from up here. You see it all. Look at the castle up there. The church is right here, Carmo Church. And over there, you even see the river, Tejo River. Really worth your €1.50. Here you can perfectly understand Lisbon. This is Baixa, the flat area, right here in between the two hills. This hill over here is Alfama, and over here, this is Chiado and Bairro Alto. You want to see where I started the story? That's the park right there, Edward VII, all the way in the end. And you see all those trees over there? That's Avenida da Liberdade, where I was walking in the beginning, talking about Lisbon. You can perfectly walk all the way here. You see, it's an easy walk, beautiful walk. I just got the metro because I didn't want to walk uphill. Let's have lunch here at Fernandinho, a homage to my sister, who's called Fernanda. We're here at a Tasca, which is a style of restaurant in Portugal, where the locals go, and we're gonna try the national dish. Obrigada. Bacalhau lagareiro. Codfish is very, very famous in Portugal. You gotta try when you come here. And if I say codfish, you think of fish and chips, forget it. Totally different. The way they prepare here is totally different than the way you eat as well. This one specifically comes with potatoes and vegetables and a lot of olive oil. It is really good. They don't even have cod here along the coast of Portugal. It is imported and it comes in a lot of salt. So there's a whole process to prepare the food, and this is one of the ways to prepare it. Now, if you have Portuguese heritage like I do, it is a meal that is very common in all family reunions like Easter, Christmas, or main religious festivities. Look at how big this is. Oh my god, it's delicious, it's so good. The fish is swimming in olive oil, look at this. And it tastes simply amazing, you know. This is outstanding. So, so good. This is interesting. Happy face. It's hilarious. You gotta go outside. There's no signal inside to pay with credit card. That was amazing. Lunch for 2 people with drinks, and we paid just a little bit more than 20 euros. That was the total check. You eat very well in Lisbon. Here in Chiado, you also find one of the most beautiful churches in Lisbon, São Roque Church. This one right here. When you look at it outside, you can't make much of it, but wait until you get in. This is so cold.
Oh my God, look at this. You ever seen so much gold in a church? It's everywhere you look. It's so beautiful. Look at the tiles in the walls. So beautiful.
This is a beautiful church mixing tiles and gold. Now you see where all the gold is that came out of Brazil.
The church made Brazil pobre.
That is true. If you're new in this channel, I'm from Brazil. That's why I say this. When we were a colony of Portugal, gold was sent here, basically until the 18th century.
She knows everything.
No, I don't. I don't.
Everything.
No, I don't. I do a lot of research and I learn. Rent a car in Lisbon is not a good idea. Look at the traffic. Plus, these narrow streets, not a good idea. This is another way you can come up here to Chiado and Bairro Alto. This is the Glória Funicular. It's gonna take you 1 to 2 minutes to get up here. It's very fast, but it's gonna cost you almost 4 euros. Now, it is worth it if you have the unlimited transport card for 24 hours. You can also use it here. A lot of people choose this way to come up or downhill, and that's because of the murals. A lot of artwork on both sides. Some of them made by top Portuguese artists. Even the funicular reminds you of a mural full of graffiti. The funicular is very close to another viewpoint here in Lisbon, São Pedro de Alcântara. Very close to the viewpoint and São Roque Church is Bairro Alto, the upper town. This is a residential neighborhood, but also where you find the most famous nightlife in Lisbon. But to enjoy this, you gotta come here late, much later, around 11 p.m.
Esta casa é uma das casas mais famosas de Lisboa, porque foi aqui onde começou a cantar a Amália Rodrigues.
Ready for a late night in Bairro
Yeah,
Alto?
you're gonna buy me drinks all night long.
No.
Yes.
Don't count on that.
Yes.
Guess that's the famous drink here. Something you know from Brazil?
Type of whiskey.
Caipirinha. Place, isn't it? Great energy, a lot of people, so fun, and not expensive. I thought a place like this would be touristy with everything expensive, but oh, what a fun night out. Now, best thing is to know that the trip to Lisbon is just in the beginning.
Hello? 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 Anybody there?
Yes. Muito bonito. Que é muito bonito. Que é...
I want a triple pleasure.
No way.
I
You
want a
didn't say
triple
that.
pleasure. Right there.
It's just 3 euros.
That's the brutos. And
What are you trying to say?
your farts are brutal. Farts are brutos.
Don't be creative with your English. In Portuguese, it doesn't mean that.
No?
No. Sorry to disappoint.
Maria, Maria, Maria.